Beautiful. We're live. We're live on Facebook, my page, and YouTube as well. So
Great.
Awesome, guys. Appreciate everyone who's tuning in after the fact, and everyone who is jumping in live. I'll have comments coming up here as well. But I'm here with Claudio of Win Rate Consulting, and he's been a previous guest on the Blue Crocus Experience. This will be airing as a podcast episode later on, but Mike has been on previously, and I want to circle back around with him and chat, a bit about what he's doing, but chat deeper into goals, because he's been, if you don't know, he has a podcast called Big Stud Sales. Check it out. Leave Ryan a review. Maybe not Mike, because Ryan is not allowed.
Definitely leave Ryan a review. Ryan was there.
Yeah, but without further ado, Mike, if you want to just quickly introduce yourself, anything that I've missed, the things that are important to you right now.
Sure. So Mike Claudio, owner of Win Rate Consulting. I'm sure it sounds like I have your entire audience as clients right now. Just kidding. So I am a business coach primarily for contractors, home service companies, construction companies, people in those world. What's up, Brian Hess? That's so cool. I can see it on my side.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Really cool. That's awesome. But yeah, so Lewis and I met via the old social media probably a year ago at this point.
Yeah, just about.
Right. And we've both been kind of growing our businesses at a similar rate over the last year. I mean, I'm probably a little ahead of you in business age, but we're kind of trying to help a very similar audience do a very similar thing, growth, right? So my primary focus is sales, business development, and leadership for my clients. And I have people of all sizes, anywhere from a few $100,000 in revenue to upward to 25 million in revenue. So I business coach full-time is my primary. So yeah, podcast, YouTube channel, tons of content on social media. It's a lot, but that's what I do. I put out value-added content on a regular basis in the belief that it'll bring clients back who are interested in getting help with their business.
I love it. Yeah. No, speaking of content, I always like to plug the guests here. Go check out Mike's YouTube channel. It's under your name, correct?
Yeah, it's Mike Claudio.
Mike Claudio. Him and Ryan are putting together a ton of content. Is it daily or weekly that you throw something out there?
On the YouTube channel, it's 2 video releases a week. Okay. And then the podcast is 1 episode a week.
Yeah. So Mike Claudio,
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of every week, I'm releasing a new piece of what I call core content.
What do you call core content?
Kind of like you can't drive people everywhere. So the core content is where you're putting the majority of your issue or the majority of your effort so you can repurpose it elsewhere. Like if you look at my Instagram page, I put out some good content like in the stories and the posts, but if you look at it, there's a lot of posts on Instagram that are driving awareness to the podcast or YouTube. Same thing in the Facebook group, Construction Selling. I mean, it's where am I trying to grow right now? When I started, I mean, it's a good topic, I think, from a goals perspective. Yeah. When I started, it was grow what I knew. So Instagram was my core focus. It was where I was the best. It's what I knew the best. So I just started on Instagram as the only thing. So for me, it's adjusted. It went from Instagram to Facebook groups to the podcast, now the YouTube channel. And I'm chasing, I don't want to say chasing, but I'm listening to the audience as it asks me for what it wants. I mean, a lot of people try and create something and hope that the audience likes it, where we try to take an approach of understand and listen to what our audience is asking for and give it to them. And ultimately, like with YouTube, it's the number 2 search engine in the world, right? And to not be there, I think, is a miss. We put a focus on it middle of 2020. Just kind of put into context, the end of January, I think, of 2020, I had 27 subscribers. As of yesterday, I had over 1,000.
Yeah, that's super exciting. Congratulations.
I mean, like it's clearly working, right? We're clearly growing the audience. I'm starting to get better engagement and questions being asked. But basically now I'm using that core content because I can't create intentional content everywhere. I'm not a professional content creator. So I create core content that then turns into how I repurpose that elsewhere.
I love it. Yeah, and I think the big thing I want to bring out, we're obviously going to eventually get to the goal setting, but with your YouTube channel, you're putting out a lot of content. 2 videos a week is a lot to do. I know because I've put out some videos nowhere near the production quality that you guys have done, but it takes a lot of planning. It takes a lot of preparation. Obviously, Ryan's doing a lot of work on the back end, and you guys are tapping into your audience as well. Like, it sounds, oh wow, Mike's got 1,000. It takes a long time to grow a YouTube channel, and you've got to keep pushing it out there and making it happen. So it's been fun to watch it. Fun to watch it grow.
But it's actually, I just want to touch on that. It's not as much work as you think, and I'm not judging anybody. If you know what you're talking about, content creation is pretty easy, right? I'm blessed that I have to learn my information, my thoughts more granularly because I teach it, right? So I've had to teach what I know, which makes you understand it differently, right?
Yeah.
So for me, like Ryan and I basically sit down and I do 1 4-hour video shoot a month.
Okay.
And we sit down, we shoot 8 to 10 videos, and that's it for the month.
I haven't been paying attention, but do you take a bunch of changes of clothes?
Yep.
I love it.
I'll shoot 2 or 3 videos in a shirt, and then I'll change my shirt and shoot 2, and maybe we'll change the lighting color, we'll change the angle a little bit. But no, I sit in the studio for 4 hours. We get 8 to 10 videos shot, and that's it. I go back a second 4-hour session and do all the podcast recording. So I have 2 4-hour content sessions a month, and I have all the content I need to distribute consistently.
That's a day, and you've got the month. So that's 12 days of your year. That's do you do that in all areas of your like kind of the consistency thing? Because you're kind of compressing time there.
Oh, I time block the shit out of my life. Yeah.
Talk to us a bit about that.
All right. So like everything I do has a time and place. I like to look at it as a bookshelf. So I'm going to try and turn this the right way. So a bookshelf, right? If and when you get things in your ecosystem, we all are very busy business owners. I like to think of it as if your head is the sun, to-do items are circling the head. Okay?
Okay.
Sounds kind of weird, but picture things just circling around your head. And every time a new task pops up, a new to-do item, a new need, a new email, a new phone call, a new DM, a new alert pops up, it gets put into orbit. And so when you sit down to focus on something, if all these things are in orbit, they're distracting you. They're pulling your attention away from the task at hand. So I use time blocks kind of as shelves.
Right.
So when something pops in, I have a time block for invoice creation. I have a time block for proposal creation. I have a time block for new client meetings. I have a time block for EC grading. I have a time block for content creation. So when an idea comes in, I can put it on the shelf, which keeps me clear so I can focus on what's in front of me. Here's the biggest anxiety in business. Hey, I'll get that back to you as soon as possible. And you just told that to 12 people.
Yeah.
And none of them know exactly when they're going to get something. You don't know when you're going to get to it. So there's no way for you to properly set expectations. You should never tell anybody you'll get them something as soon as possible, because their expectation of as soon as possible and your expectation as soon as possible are never going to line up.
Yeah.
So you're literally setting yourself up for failure with whoever that person is. But if I know I work on proposals on Thursdays or Tuesdays and Thursdays or Mondays and Fridays or whatever it is, hey, I met with you on Tuesday. Hey, I work on proposals on Thursday. This is what I did when I was selling remodel work. I had a day, every Tuesday and Thursday I prospected. Every Monday and Friday I did proposals. This is how I did it. If I didn't get done Friday, it was on for Monday. I meet with you on Tuesday. Hey, look, I do proposals on Fridays and Mondays. Friday's full right now. I should be able to work on it Monday. I'll send it to you Monday night or Tuesday morning. Is that cool with you? But if I don't have that time associated, if I don't know when I'm going to get to that, I can't give you an honest delivery time frame, which drives me as the client expert, the client experience person, crazy.
Yeah.
They don't care when they're going to get it. They just want to know when.
I'm sitting over here quiet because it's hitting me in the feels, because I just put out a call for a bunch of audits, right? And I said I'll get it to you as soon as possible, and that has been nagging me, even though it's free stuff. Even like I want to deliver for people, right? And I don't think I'd quite gotten to where you are, or where you like what you just laid out.
So stop right now. Take all the ones you have to do. Figure out how long it's going to take you. Find the time blocks. Plug them in. Get back to all of them. Hey, I realized I got more than I was expecting. Hey, I'm going to get to yours Tuesday. I'm going to get to yours Wednesday. I'm going to get to yours Thursday. I just want to set proper expectations. I got more than I was expecting, so I had to create a better structure. Wanted to let you know.
I love it. Yeah, no, because that's huge. Because I've started time blocking in some areas. But I'm always, in my mind, I'm like, I want to get it back to them the next day. But as you get busier and have to scale, that's just never possible.
So here's how I would solve that. If that was a consistent thing that kept getting added to my plate. Let's say you want to run free audits as a consistent offering, right? I would find one 90-minute time. How long does it take you to do an audit?
It takes about 15, 20 minutes to do the whole deep dive.
Let's say 15 minutes. Let's say you need to get efficient. 15 minutes is the number.
Yep.
I'm going to block off 90 minutes a week for audits. Okay. Yep. Hey guys, I got 6 audits I can get done this week. Who's interested? Or, hey, I'm looking at my audit list. I got 6 this week. I got 6 next week. Sorry, I'm not going to be able to get to you for 2.5 weeks.
And then you adjust accordingly based on what you want to accomplish. Yeah.
If they're like, hey, I can't wait that long. Okay, it was a free service. But now you're setting yourself up for success because now I have the time. So I've done that with a lot of things as things have changed in my life, right? Because as you get busier, and let's say some of these audits turn into clients, you have less time for audits.
Exactly.
So I would create that because I think it'd be a good offer for you to do on a consistent basis would be to create a consistent offering of a free audit, which now here's what happens, Lewis. You just figure out what exactly does an audit look like? What needs to happen? What's looked at? What notes? What's the report? And then you hire somebody to do your audits.
Yep.
Because you're giving them the game plan. You know exactly how long it should take. Hey, in 5 hours a week, you should be able to get 20 audits done. Now I'm going to start charging $99 an audit.
I like it. All right, that's good. All right, I'm going to go. We'll have to finish this later, Mike.
Yeah, you got some calls to make.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful.
So like talking about time blocking though, it's always once my time gets too consumed where I cannot deliver proper expectations, I change how I manage it. Because what you're doing right now is setting yourself up to look like every other company out there in your space.
Dropping the ball. Exactly.
Because the only ball that you're dropping is the improper expectation.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? You're not giving them a proper expectation that you can actually deliver on. I don't care if it's 10 weeks from now. If they know when to expect it, it's not going to happen in 2 days. The interruptive text message. Hey, man, where's that at? Now you're anxious.
Yeah.
Shit, I told them as soon as possible. Now I got to come up with some sort of an excuse. Now I got to, now my whole afternoon's ruined. No. Yeah. If you would have just told them, hey, I'm going to work on 10 this week and 10 next week, and you're in the 10 for next week, they would not be bugging you about getting something back.
Because they know.
And now you're not getting disrupted by those phone calls and those text messages and the emails like, hey, where's my proposal at? Hey, where's my audit at? And you're over here like already anxious because you're already dropping the ball. Yeah, Nick said, I wish you could screen share. My calendar's stupid looking. But that's it, man. Like you need to fix that today.
Yeah, I'm going to. I'm going to do that.
15, and now I have 15 minutes apiece. Here's my 2-hour time block. I'm going to plug them in. Da 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 da. And I'm going to. Oh shit! I guess I'm moving those the next week. Let me let them know.
That's huge. I love it. Appreciate it. Everybody, you just got a free audit by Mike.
So weird. So I have to be on Google Chrome for this live because it doesn't work on Safari, and the camera's backwards. Like if I move left.
It's so weird. Like I was adjusting my hand the wrong way.
I'm not used to because it's the same thing on Facebook Live. You can't go Facebook Live on Safari anymore either. It's got to be on Chrome.
Gotcha.
Facebook Live has just gone to shit.
Yeah, that's why I bought StreamYard.
That's why I use Zoom. I actually use Zoom as my Facebook Live now because it's literally easier to do Facebook Live from Zoom than it is from Facebook. Exactly. That sounds like a problem to me.
It's not a good problem to have. For sure.
But then clearly. All right, moving on. Big goals. Big goals. Time blocking. New big goals. We're going to time block. All right, cool.
Yeah. So walk us through your goals. People, if you haven't checked out the podcast, where Mike and Ryan go through it, listen to it. Listen to the whole podcast. I'm not necessarily doing contracting stuff in my business. I'm not. But you guys bring a lot of good business sense to the podcast. So check it out.
It was pretty cross-platform. Like I think it's not for any specific industry.
Exactly. So all of that to say, you're talking about your goals. So walk us through what your goal setting looks like. I know you guys just had a big retreat with WinRate and did a lot of vision boarding and all of that. how do you come up with these goals? Do you just lie in bed at night thinking about them, or is it like
So I'm really big on reverse engineering everything into a manageable daily activity. Okay. So I'm huge on this. I'm huge on it, because if you cannot win the day, you absolutely cannot win the year, period. If you cannot win your morning, you can't win the day. You can't not hit snooze, you're not winning the day. So I'm really big about winning one decision at a time. And that really came from, I was actually talking to somebody today. I've lost 100 pounds from my biggest.
It's awesome to watch that, dude.
Yeah. So, but like, if you were saying I'm gonna go lose 100 pounds, it's overwhelming. It's like too big to wrap your head around, right? And there's many business owners right now going, well, I want to get to $2 million, and they're at 600 grand right now. Like, oh, right, they get completely overwhelmed. But if you reverse engineer that and say, like, well, that's only X amount of contacts a day at my current conversion rate, with my current close rate, with my current average project size, like, shit, I can make 5 calls a day. But can you? Because no one commits to that.
Right.
Right. But
you
if
don't know the number.
But here's a big, I'll just share, like, I got a really big goal. Like, and I haven't shared this too much publicly until recently. This has been my goal since the day I thought about creating Win Rate Consulting.
Okay.
I want to disperse the Better Business Bureau.
Okay.
Do you know what the Better Business Bureau is? Do you know what that is?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Everyone wants to be on it, but doesn't want to pay.
But it doesn't bring any value to the homeowner, nor the business, right?
So when you say you want to get rid of it, basically,
I want to destroy it. I want to put it out of business. And to do that, I'm like, okay, so this is like the first thought I had. This has been clear as day for me since day one. Well, how do I make that happen, right? Well, I got to figure out how to educate one person on the proper way to run their business. That's the next step. And so if I can do that at a national scale, then figure that out. What is the process? What's the system? What does the business need? Then start to target homeowners on why they would want a win rate certified contractor. Like, I want to put this shit. See, I did it. I want to put this logo on trucks as a meaningful level of accomplishment.
Interesting.
The point where how do I feed win rate is homeowners asking contractors, are you win rate certified?
Right.
How do I get there? Well, first is figure out my process. I don't even know, like, I can't think about dispersing a Better Business Bureau until, like, I get a coaching client, right? But it was coach local, try to get national, try to take over my state, try to take over many states, right? So I'm on pace, right? Like, I got local, I got national clients. I just got approved by the North Carolina Licensing Board for General Contractors for my course there. There's 14 other states that have CU requirements. That's the next step. But you take it one step at a time. So if I knew that, well, then I got to reverse engineer into what the next step is. So many people look at, but I don't know how to solve becoming a national coach. I didn't need to know how to solve becoming a national coach. I need to solve one problem at a time.
Right. And let it grow.
You've heard me say this too, but it's like the impact of my goal is bigger than my excuses. You've heard me say that a few times.
Yeah.
Your goal needs to be more than monetary. It's got to be it's got to be impact based. Because if you're like, well, I want to do $2 million this year. Well, why? So you have more headaches and more heartaches and more employees and more broken things and more taxes and more bills. Like, no, you want a bigger impact. Why? Because you want your family to have that security. You want your kids to have what they want. Like, your goals need to be bigger. And so for me, it's been, I want to disperse the Better Business Bureau because I want to take the fear out of the remodeling industry. I've said that literally since day one. Well, the only way to do that is to educate people on what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
Communication is the only way to solve fear.
And that it's possible.
And then from there, it's just one conversation at a time. So, like, if I look at it from what I started with Win Rate, is I want to disperse the Better Business Bureau by taking the fear out of the remodeling industry by having an impact one conversation at a time.
That's huge. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
That's from day one.
Yeah.
3 years ago. Like, that's pre-LLC creation. That was my vision. I want to take the fear out of this industry by dispersing the organization that's in place to protect these people from getting taken advantage of. And I don't want to hurt good contractors. I want to fix the industry from both perspectives, the homeowner and the contractor. Right? What does it look like? What is it supposed to sound like? What is it supposed to be? What are the guarantees? What are the expectations? Because I also want to create, like, a Better Business Bureau for homeowners. Like, I want a list of bad
Yeah.
owners, just as I want a list of contractors to avoid, right? Like, I want to, like, oh, I see here in 2015 you didn't pay one of your invoices. I'm not sure I want to work with you.
Yeah.
I want that. I don't know how we get there, but I want that. I don't need to know how we get there. I need to make an impact. So let's make that into a real thing. Okay. So now I need a lot of coaches. I need a lot of clients. I need a lot of awareness, right? So the next stage from there, like my 10-year plan is $5 million in revenue, 100 one-on-one coaching clients, and 100 group coaching clients. Like at a big picture, if I'm doing 200 companies a year in the next 10 years, that's 2,000 companies. If that, I feel like that's impactful, right?
Yep.
But then, okay, so then what's I'm sorry, 5 million is 10-year. 3-year plan would be 5 coaches, 100 one-on-one coaching clients, and 100 group coaching clients, right? So in 3 years, that's the plan.
Yep.
Well, in 1 year, what do I need to do this year? Well, I need to do 600 grand in revenue, which we should exceed. It's a conservative goal, but that's the goal. Have 2 coaches in place, have 30 one-on-one coaching clients, and get 12 people through my first year of a year-long group coaching thing. So let's go back, right? I needed to get 12 people into this champion circle small group year-long commitment. If I can make those people wildly successful, next year there's 50 people in that group.
Because they all tell their friends.
I need to prove a concept. Why think about how do I get 100 when I haven't even gotten through 12 for a whole year yet?
Why do you pick 12 just randomly?
Time domain, just how much time I had available to coach the right amount of people.
I
thought for a new offer, 12 would be a good number. We ended up with 11, so we were close. But really just time, because that group gets some one-on-one coaching as well as group coaching calls. So just how much time did I want to dedicate to it?
Yep. Okay.
So then reverse engineer it and like, okay, if I need to get 30 coaching clients this year and I have about a 40% close rate on people I propose, that means I need X amount of proposals, and to get X amount of proposals means I need to have X amount of conversations. I can literally reverse engineer into like how many posts, how many engagements, how many people I need in my group. And like a big part, this is probably the biggest part, vision, impact, huge. Second part, know your numbers. If you don't know what your close rate is, what your average project size is, how many referrals you're getting, what your transition from conversation to proposal is, if you don't know your numbers, you can't physically reverse engineer your stuff because you're just going to be guessing, and you might as well not even try to reverse engineer it because it's not going to be real numbers.
Right.
Well, I would say if you don't know your numbers right now, track for the next 90 days. How many calls do you get? How many of those turns into in-person meetings? How many of those turn into proposals? What's the average value of the proposals? How many contracts do you get? What's the average contract value? So now you can physically figure out what are your daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, not just monetary number. You can't judge the health of your business by the amount of money in your bank account.
No. I love that.
Really long-winded answer, but that's...
No, I mean, the classic Mikeism, you got granular on it. And that's exactly what I wanted personally, because it's a process that I'm going through too. For those of you that don't know or didn't see my post, Mike sent me this in the mail as a gift, and I think you sent this out to several of your clients as well.
Open that thing up. Show everybody the first page. Personalized, baby, next level.
Yeah, that was awesome. So he sent this out to me. I wasn't expecting it, and I'm reading through it, and I'm reading through a lot of different books. I have a lot of books on my list to read this year, and a lot of them are around, taking Lewis to the next level. What are my daily habits need to look like? I said this before on previous podcasts. I prided myself in the ability to just take whatever came at me. I loved that. I felt that was what made me feel useful. But that's not what makes me effective in the long run. And that has become very, very clear in the last year of running my business. It's like I need to systematize, I need to delegate, and I can't do that if I'm not, getting really specific on things. So, that was for me as much as it was for the listeners, Mike. I also,
here's for you, like if you want to increase yourself as a person, commit to one new activity a day for like 30 days. Right? Get up 5 minutes earlier, do 10 extra minutes of reading, read 10 pages. Like the only way to make change is to keep commitments to yourself. Like I know it's super cliche, and I hear a lot of people say it, but like that shit's real. So
walk me through that. As far you mean instead of like telling the whole world?
No, like just
keep them. Yeah, I gotcha.
Like say I'm going to do this and then like follow through on it. Because the minute you don't and you lose trust in your own ability to deliver for you, everything suffers.
Yeah, I can vouch for that. I jumped into 75 hard. Must have been back in August or something. I made it. I got to the 21-day mark 3 times, and eventually family stuff got in the way. We had a baby coming, so I ended up not keeping going. But I took a good hard look at myself, and it's like the Lewis that went into doing it the first time couldn't have done it. And so now I've gotten back and I've started one thing and then added on another, exactly like you're saying. The first thing I did is said, if I can keep the commitment to do 40 push-ups a day, then that's something. I'd never kept a commitment like that. Working out is a commitment that, I find harder to do. And so now I'm starting to add on other commitments, and I'm finding it so much more effective than jumping right in and saying, okay, I'm going to do this, 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 and this. I think the 75 hard program is incredible. But I couldn't take full advantage of it because it was just too much.
What time tomorrow are you going to do your push-ups?
I do them when I get up, and then when I go home. I've actually made it a thing that Ever and I do together. He's now helping me on my back sometimes too. So,
I mean, just like little things like that, I time block. Talking about that earlier, like it's all on my calendar.
Yeah,
because I can look forward and plan around it. If you're not prioritizing, why would anybody else?
Exactly. Yeah, and as other people have come onto my team, it's like I can't expect them to keep commitments if I can't keep commitments to myself. And that's been, the biggest thing. Looking into myself, it's like, what am I doing to lead, my life and inspire the people around me. So yeah, that was not any too long-winded, Mike. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Can you talk about what the retreat looked like for your for the business? Like you guys just did. I was a couple weeks ago, I think.
It was actually last week. It's crazy.
Okay.
I went. I guess it was 2 weeks ago. So basically,
why you did it, I guess.
So, all right. So why? So I basically everything win rate was up until that 3-day retreat was what I had come up with before starting the business. Like the core values were the same, the processes were the same, and the pricing had adjusted, and some of the client relationship stuff had adjusted. But for the most part, like we did not have great systems and processes. And I also added 2 people to the team, technically 3 people to the team in the last year. So there was a lot that I was lacking from a accountability, team rapport, consistencies, programs, processes, systems, all this stuff, right? So the initial was to get everybody together and come up with our goals and visions as a team so that I could get feedback from people and we can get buy-in and we can get excitement about the year. And so we got big goals this year. It's going to take a lot of hard work and getting some people just to know each other. Cause I was like Nick's in Michigan, Jackie and Lindsay and Ryan are local, but like we never see each other. I don't have an office anymore, right? We all work from home. So it was a matter of just like getting everybody together and building what that next season of win rate is going to look like. So basically a 2.5, 3-day event. So Sunday afternoon, everybody got there. Sunday night, we did a vision board activity as I invite everybody's spouses, because I think it's important for spouses to be bought into what their spouse is doing for a living.
Nice.
So we did like a group vision board creation. I bought like literally $350 worth of magazines. If you don't know, magazines are incredibly expensive these days. $15 a pop. I bought like 40 magazines. It was crazy. But we just basically spread them out and like people just started cutting shit out because I also want to know what people are working for.
Yeah.
For me, it was a selfish exercise. I knew it would benefit the team, but I want it's hard to say, why are you working so hard? What are you working for? Well, I don't know. I just, just want to do the right thing, right? Well, great answer, but that's not real.
Yeah.
So like making people create vision boards allowed me to see what other people are focused on, what their priorities are, what they're looking to do right now. Like I can tell you right now what Jackie and Todd want to do and what Lindsay and Keith want to do and what Nick and Katie want to do. I can tell you what everybody wants to do, right? And so that helped me from a leadership perspective to see what is my team working for so I can help them get there. Like as a leader, I want to compensate them, but I want to also help them grow and get to their dreams and visions and that sort of thing. So that was Sunday night.
Yeah.
We did dinner together and kind of hung out and did that. So Monday was kind of the working day. We spent basically all day working through like the visions and the core values and the goals and the initiatives. And basically, so we did a 10-year. So if you have you read Traction?
I've read part of it. I need to finish it.
All right, so we basically went through the Vision Traction Organizer. So basically, what is our core values? What is our core focus? What is our marketing strategy? What is our 10-year vision? What is our 3-year plan? What is our 1-year target? What are our Q1 initiatives? Basically, just went through this and built it out over the day. And I added 2 things too. We did a SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats as a team. And then we basically recap last year's accomplishments, right? So like, let's do win rate consulting. What happened? What went good? What went poorly? And what will we do differently this year to help create some of those changes and have people talk about it from different perspectives, which was really cool and super helpful to get everybody's perspective on things that we could be doing differently. Because look, I mean, Nick's been here 6 months, Lindsay's been here a little over a year, Jackie's been here for like 2 weeks. But like, they still all have perspective of what we're doing. So their feedback was invaluable because they're the ones that are going to be tasked with doing whatever we're going to do next. So for me to not get their input and to make changes makes it a much lower success rate of implementing change, right? And Ryan was there from a content and that's why Ryan was there. But he was there from a like, what are we doing with the podcast differently? What are we doing with YouTube differently? What are we doing with content differently? What are we gonna, yada yada yada, right? And like this, it's not really his thing. Like he's not into that, that type of activity. But he was there, he participated, he helped. It was great to have him there and have him be a part of that, and just have the team meet him too. So all of that kind of happened. That was Monday. Then we had a really nice surf and turf dinner at the house. I rented just a big beach house.
I know, it's awesome.
We all stayed in the same house. It was really cool. And then Tuesday was like a team building day. We went golfing with a few of us went golfing in the morning. And then we went and kind of bar hopped around a little bit in the afternoon. Hung out Tuesday night at the house, just kind of hung out, shot the shit, watched TV. I think some people watched a movie. Some of us shot. There was a pool table with some of us shot pool. And then Wednesday morning, everybody went home.
Nice.
And I'll tell you, we have incredibly more aligned visions, incredibly more aligned initiatives, incredibly more aligned activity. Because I'm bad. Like one of the biggest, weaknesses and threats to win rate is my focus. Because I'm like, I struggle with the shiny object stuff too sometimes, right? And so now we have a very succinct and direct list of initiatives that for first quarter. If it doesn't fit that list, we're not talking about it until at least second quarter. And so we're much more likely to get that stuff done and move the ball forward. We're already seeing that. But we also implemented some new systems and processes around tracking projects and to-do items and who owns what. Now there's more people involved. So I think that's the overview.
Yeah. So, a lot of people are like, man, you took 3 days off. You paid these people for 3 days. You paid for the beach house. Would you say it was worth it?
Oh yeah. What's an average client value to you, right? What percentage of increase can you create? And look,
and what's your workplace?
I'm sorry.
What's your workplace camaraderie too, right?
But and here's something that like I've believed in for a while, and as I've been around better leaders, I've seen it more and more. Like invest in your people, and they will invest in your clients.
Uh-huh.
And so, like I'll just it cost me 10 to 15 grand for that week.
Yeah,
I did a dual event. So I did win rate consulting was the first half, and then EC grading, which is my grading company, came for the second half.
Yeah.
We are significantly more prepared to have a successful growth year than otherwise. Period. No doubt about it. Zero doubt. Right. So, but like, you got to want to do that.
Yeah.
Like you got to be big. Like my impact is 10, 15 years from now. I don't give a shit how much money I make in 2021. I mean, I don't want to lose money, but I'm not worried about like padding my bank account this year.
Right.
I'm investing in the foundations to grow something super impactful to the marketplace. So if you're looking to just make money this year and buy your boat or buy your gun or buy that new house you want, you're not worried about long-term vision and impact to your team, you're gonna have a different approach. And not that it's wrong, everybody's a little different, right? But I needed to make this change because I went from a solopreneur to a business, a small business, but I have, 3 to 5 people at any given time that I'm working with and leading and managing. And I need to make sure we're on the same page.
Got to get it all aligned. Yeah, no, it's huge. And I think, I've seen several people, I try and surround myself with on social media and the content that I ingest, And it's a common theme that I see is taking that step back, figuring out what your goals are. Do you guys do it quarterly? Is this something you're going to do quarterly? Because you mentioned, getting to a certain point quarterly and then reassessing.
Yeah, so we'll reevaluate the quarterly initiatives to the 1 year plan.
Okay.
So like basically like first quarter is the first step in 3 or 4 different projects, and then second quarter we'll take the next step and so on and so forth. So we'll sit down at the end of the quarter and say what went well, what didn't go well, what are we continuing on, what are we taking the next step on, what's the next list of initiatives that we need to take action on in order to accomplish what we need to accomplish.
I love it. That's huge. Well, I know your time is coming to an end because you got some other stuff on the go today, Mike. I do appreciate you helping me, specifically at the beginning there, and I hope that people came away with some value. And
are there any questions? Did anybody ask any questions in there? Is there anybody who has a question?
We had a lot of fans throwing up. Some of them we can't see the names. I think you've got to allow StreamYard.
I only see the people that I'm friends with. I think I don't know how, but like it showed me like Brian.
I think the ones that come in on my Facebook, and then if it's in a group or on YouTube, it comes in a little bit different.
Okay.
Ron Day says, I have 3 or 4 shirts next to my green screen when I do recording service videos. And then he reminds me, you got to do the email.
You're welcome. We brought value today.
I'm guessing this is Cam or Cameron. Can't be 100% sure. I'll go find out after. Matt Johnson and I just hopped on a call earlier, and I was suggesting that he do some coaching for some of the stuff he's doing. Someone's on day 8 of 75 hard. I love it.
I'm on day 8 of phase 2.
I love it. I saw you had started it back up again there. So, and Cameron Hogate says, "Is Lewis's mind melted yet?"
Between Cameron and they say that a lot. Like, because I just look, outside perspective is huge, right? Like it helps you see things that you would have figured out on your own just a lot faster. Because most business owners, most even small, medium, even large business owners that I've worked with, and large in my space, be 25 to 50 million. There are certain things they're missing, that one little puzzle piece.
Yeah.
That one thing that makes it all make sense, right? And that's one of the benefits of hiring a coach that has some outside perspective is I can point things out in a different way or point them in a different perspective or show you what I went through. And like, look, I have real life experience. I've grown businesses. I am growing a business. I don't coach off theory. Like what I teach is things I've done. Which means like I'm not an expert of all things. I don't teach everything, and I'm not about certain things because I've never done them, right? Like ads and SEO and Google. Like I don't do that stuff. I'm not against it. I don't coach it because I've never done it.
Yeah. I'm
relationship and engagement and putting out valuable content into the world and will bring back what you're looking for. So that's one of the benefits of having a coach or having somebody in your life is even with you today. I mean, like that was a little thing that will change your client experience for the rest of your life and business.
Yeah.
Like that's huge. Like that one little thing changes how you're setting expectations, which is one of the biggest reasons you lose clients.
It's huge. Well, and you lose sleep too, right? Like that's because
the stress level.
Even though for me it's a free service, it's like I want to make sure that I'm delivering for clients, and it's hard for me when it's not. And so that's huge. And I'm sure there were 1 or 2 other people that sniped that and were like, man, that's something I've got to do. So
even with you though, like if you don't take their free service seriously, why would I pay you money?
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
Exactly.
Well, if you have questions or anybody reaches out to Lewis, I'd love to answer them. So Lewis, keep me posted if anybody jumps in and has a question. Ryan Austin says that all the time. Ryan Austin, if you're not following him, phenomenal business owner, phenomenal leader, just phenomenal guy.
We're having him on here in the next couple of weeks. So
perfect. Yeah, definitely get on there he's a great dude.
Awesome guy.
So
cool. Well, guys, this has been Mike. Go follow him on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Mike Claudio on all of those platforms. Hop into his group, Construction Selling. I will be posting this up as a podcast episode as well, probably in the next few days, and I'll link out to everything there as well for you. But Mike, it's been a pleasure as always, and appreciate you melting my brain.
Appreciate it, Lewis. Have a good one, man.
All right. Talk soon. Bye.